Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. Asinist Fire, Way of Dharma. Today we are discussing a very, very interesting story of a guru who had received siddhi or attainment in the mantra of Padmasambhava. It's a Vajra Guru mantra. It's a story about a Buddhist monk, basically. So before we continue, please like, subscribe, and share the content from the Way of Dharma. I'd like to welcome all of you new members, new subscribers. I'd like to welcome all of you returning subscribers. Thank you for your support so far. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let us all study together and hope to do our highest good for us and the world in general. Om Sahanao Bhavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now everyone, be careful of spiritual gurus. Be careful of fake people who sell you the occult as a persona. Fortunately for me, I got the occult knowledge at a very young age. I regard it as a young age. I could have gotten it younger. But as a person grows in life, too many things come to shake up that person and they lose many parts of themselves. So for a weird person who grew up facing a lot of depression and a lot of traumas, they end up losing their true selves in it. And then there's like a loss of self that one experiences. So as you come across the occult in your later ages, you might be having everything basically going wrong in your life. But now suddenly you've come across the occult. Now it gives you a false feeling of importance. So now you're blabbering and talking too much there on social media, telling people that they are doing false knowledge, false education, they are going to a job, and that they are working so hard just to attain money, whereas you are a broke occultist and a broke meditation practitioner, telling people that they shouldn't go to Jesus, all that stuff that wouldn't reflect on a true guru. You see it in those fake guru guys, you understand? Going out of their way, talking nasty things about the next person. I don't know if it's maybe a character thing, maybe it's something deep within them, or it's that feeling of importance that they get from the occult and the occult knowledge. But in my opinion, and how I would apply it and what would motivate me to do such, it's that feeling of importance. We face a lot of stress, a lot of depression, things that devalue us to a point whereby when we find something of significance, something of true power, we tend to use that thing to boost our false self, to actually try to fit in back into society, or try to make other people feel like they are doing nothing, just to feel like you're on top, basically. That's not the case. I'm only talking about this story because I want to show you something that whenever you try to listen to something, when you want to listen to someone spiritual, don't go for those guys who want you to change your vocabulary, change the way you dress, change the way you basically uh your change yourself basically. Let me switch on the light. I think it's back. Am I wrong? No, it's not back. Okay, yes. I'm currently in darkness because of the power outage. So yes, those types of people, they do all that stuff. I don't know if it's within them. However, when looking for a guru, looking for someone to listen to who gives spiritual teachings, look for somebody who doesn't uh, reflect those characteristics that I've mentioned before. The example of someone who would be a better guru would be the story of this guru that I'm about to read to you. Because people tend to make you to change your diet forcefully. They tend to to change your entire belief system, to try to make you to think like them. Okay, they don't motivate you, or uh they don't motivate you or encourage you to use your true inner intelligence. Everything has to come from them. This is what also the spiritual people that do consultations, that's what they do also. They try to keep you coming back to them, because they know as soon as you do things on yourself, you won't be needing them. So I also urge you and encourage you to do everything for yourself. Hence, when people come to me for tantra spells and spell casting, I don't do anything for anyone. Do anything and everything for yourself. If you have no access for such things, I can help you and share what I have, and then you can try and do your sadhana, and then you will definitely get results. So when I came first into the occult picture, I met a lot of such people. People who tell you of semen retention, but whenever you ask them for techniques on how to do it, they can't show you. Okay, they can't show you any technique, any spiritual technique. Instead, they hide behind scientific jargon and quantum physics stuff, that hard vocabulary, meaning that they've just changed their vocabulary from that of Christianity, and they've taken a new religion. And there's also something that I see among the black occultists. No, I don't even want to call them occultists. I want to call them religious people. The so-called people that study the teachings of Kemet, also known as Egypt. Those guys are so hooked upon melanin, and they are hooked upon whatever ancient Egypt culture and the ancient Egypt history, to a point whereby they hardly ever do anything spiritual. They can't even meditate or even chant the syllable Om, but they always talking about black greatness and all that stuff. To me, all that thing is just reverse brainwashing. And it's unfortunately, some of the people, uh, Indians in particular, I come across, they are brainwashed by this kind of thing, and they look upon such Kemetic masters as the true gurus. But when I look into their lifestyle, into the way they talk, they have no practice. They merely have no spiritual practice, and they are doing nothing at all. They are doing nothing at all. Some of them even come to me on my Facebook, threatening to spiritually attack me, telling me that I hate Americans, African Americans, because I come from a dilapidated country, which is also known as South Africa, since that it's been developing and it's dilapidated. These guys definitely have no idea. I'm sure it's because of Mike Tyson. He said that he saw a kid playing with a pig in Soweto. I don't know where he went, but it definitely isn't Soweto. And so such people tend to think that we are envying their lifestyle in America. Brothers, Americans, white people coming into South Africa. The Chinese are trying to take over South Africa. There's even Indians coming into South Africa. How can those people come into a dilapidated country? There's even the entire continent of Africa is coming down to South Africa to show you that there's nothing of that sort, basically. So now they try to feel better, as they always try to do. So these Kemetic masters, they hardly ever do anything. They always talk and hide behind those vocabularies of grand rising. And instead of saying soul, they say SOL, which is soul, all that stupid stuff. But anyway, let's go into our true story. Not true story, our main subject for the video, which is the story of the guru who had attained enlightenment and achieved supernatural powers because of the mantra he was reciting. Perfecto. Now let's go into it. If you want to search for the story, it is called a true account of an accomplished master, something like that. You just see it over here. It's a true account of an accomplished something. I'll try to share it and link it in the description. However, this is the guy that they are talking about. What's his name? What's his name? I hope I didn't do anything. What's going on now? Okay, yes. Translated from Chinese into English, edited by Jigme Sherab, with due respect, homage to Padma Shambhava and Pema Norbu Rinpoche, something like that. So, May 2006, in the holy land of Padma Shambhava, Bhutan, a blind accomplished master knew his time of death. His time of death in advance, and sat in crossed Vajra posture while passing into parinirvana. As the author was afraid of gradually forgetting the details of this master's liberation story over the passage of time, the sublime details of it were committed to paper with one's own inadequate literary skills. It is hoped that all those who see, hear, or are acquainted with the facts of this history will be filled with deep faith and devotion to Padma Shambhava, thereby receiving blessings and accomplishments. This accomplished adept is a Bhutanese. When he was alive, people mostly addressed him as Drubtop, which means someone who has attained realization. Moreover, due to the fact that he attained realization and liberation through the recitation of the Vajra Guru mantra, he was also called Benza Guru Drubtop, meaning the Vajra Guru Siddha. A Siddha is someone who have accomplished or attained siddhis, which are supernatural powers. Okay. This accomplished master, Benza Guru Drubtop, whose external appearance was dirty and unkempt, but who internal was extraordinarily free and liberated, was previously a visually handicapped beggar who lived in the peripheral slums of Bhutan. Later, due to the help of Urgyen Lama and Jamyang Dorje Rinpoche, this accomplished master, who had went through a difficult life but with equanimity, was invited to the monastery, where they looked after him as an offering to a most unsurpassed field of merit. This was the reason that the last 10 years of his life was relatively peaceful and safe. Benza Guru was not born blind, it is said. He was not born blind. It is said that his visual impairment was the result of curses wrought by mantras which his enemies had inflicted upon him. So this guy, they did some tantra and hit him with mantras. So as a result of that, he turned blind. It was a permanent blindness which his enemies had inflicted upon him. Before he went blind, he was just a common farmer who belonged to the Bon religion at that time. The farmer did not understand the vast qualities of Padmasambhava and had even entertained sacrilegious views towards Guru Rinpoche and slandered him with negative speech. So be careful what you say about spiritual people or spiritual deities and devatas of certain cultures. To recover his sight, the farmer had approached many doctors who were unable to help. With no other resort, he asked several spiritual friends and masters for advice on what spiritual practice to do in order to recover his sight. Finally, he listened to some masters' advice and decided to chant the Vajra Guru mantra, Om Ahum Benza Guru Padma Siddhi Hung. You understand? Relying on it as his sole practice, and eventually went on to achieve an astounding level of realization. When Guru Drubtop started to recite the Vajra Guru mantra, his faith in Padma Sambhava began to ripen and increase. Due to his blindness, day or night was not much difference to him, and he began to recite this mantra diligently day and night without distinction. When he completed 100 million recitations, Drubtop's prayer wheel, which he rotated as I'm sorry, as he recited the mantra, began to drip inconceivable nectar. It is well known that the prayer wheels contain dry paper rolls and it is impossible for water to drip from it out of thin air. Yet his prayer wheel began to manifest such a strange phenomenon. This demonstrated the authenticity of the results of Benza Guru's practice and also showed how wonderful Padmasambhava's blessings were. After that, he did not slow down, but instead he continued to recite the mantra diligently, praying to Guru Rinpoche and praying to Guru Rinpoche with great faith. When Benza Guru had completed the mantra 300 million times in a dreamlike state, he personally met the lotus-born Guru and received a prophecy, thereby attaining an inconceivable level of realization. Padmasambhava told Benza Guru, if you live on for 7 more years, your sight will be recovered. The reason for you having lost sight in both eyes is that you previously believed in a born religion, and especially you had disparaged and despised noble beings, causing confused interdependent phenomenon to rise. Now, although you have seen me due to that karmic obscuration, you will not be able to immediately regain your sight. You understand? Thus, Benza Guru Drubtop was not able to recover his sight even though he had seen the Guru Rinpoche. In the mysterious state, Guru Rinpoche also asked Benza Guru to make a special Dharma head as an auspicious interdependent arising, which the blind Benza Guru made himself from bronze pieces without anyone's help. Remember, this guy couldn't see. In spite of Benza Guru's inner realization and his extraordinary clairvoyance due to Guru Rinpoche's blessings, due to his external visual handicap, no one was willing to look after him properly. So you can imagine how he was looking, this guy. Imagine how he was looking. Thus, he wandered around in the region of Chim in Bhutan. The locals called him Benza Guru. Benza Guru knew of a secret method to reverse obstacles which the lotus-born Guru had personally transmitted to him. It could swiftly remove all heavy illnesses or urgent calamities befalling a person. This method is special but inelegant. It required that Benza Guru make a special kind of dharma and recite a short ritual. The specifics of it is only known to himself and then he must strip naked while totally nude, take the torma to a nearby triple intersect junction. Yes, triple intersect junction. This method is quite powerful, and all the people for whom the guru had performed this ritual uh, recovered from their problems without exception. Besides this, every time someone requested the guru for any help, his way of divination was also different from others. He did not need the use of any divination apparatus, nor did he require the person to say much, but would be able to know the intentions of the person and be able to speak out the intimate details of the supplicant's residence, environment, and all other kinds of details, including those personal secrets that the person requesting did not want revealed. Evidently, Guru Benza had attained great clairvoyance of knowing others' minds due to blessings of Guru Rinpoche. He was also widely acknowledged as Drubtop due to this. Okay, Benza Guru's inner secret realization did not cause him to try to improve his own living conditions, but instead he regarded poverty and suffering as not being any obstacle or problem impeding him. What did not change was that he continued supplicating Guru Rinpoche day and night, reciting the Guru mantra respectfully. So when he passed into parinirvana, a conservative estimate of number of Guru mantras he had recited in his life amounts to more than 600 million. Unlike others, he was not interested in promoting his own diligent efforts at practice or his miraculous responses. Instead, Benza Guru benefited beings in a spontaneous and extemporaneous way. Thus, most of the people who knew him did not know how profound his inner realization was. Most people only regarded his external style and obstacle averting rituals as a sign that he was merely a practitioner with some achievements. Most of his secret conduct and responses he would only tell to Urgyan, Lama, and a few close friends who had faith. Although he was a siddha, he did not alter his clothes or appearance, but remained like a beggar, allowing others to make offerings and making shift of whatever they offered to her. Okay. Although he was invited to stay at monastery and could have chosen to have better living premises and conditions, he only preferred to live in a dilapidated corner of the monastery and sleep in his own old covers using yellowed and hole-ridden blankets and pillows. Benza Guru would only accept others' clothing and food. If someone offered his cash, notes, or coins, he will recite mantras and blow them on as a blessing before returning them to the offerer, telling him not to use the money but to keep it on the body as a blessing or as a blessed artifact for protection, so a talisman. When one offered him a khata, it was the same case. This showed that Benza Guru has already viewed all wealth as nothing, with no desire or wish for anything. Yes. So, yeah, I don't think I will read this. Yeah. So, but this guru was a siddha, and all he had to do was just recite a mantra day and night unceasingly, and then he was able to have unfoldments in his spiritual gifts. So this is a good story on the significance of mantra recitation in dharma. Basically, you can go to the greatest of heights when you recite mantras. The best thing about this is that you don't need to buy anything special, as you would see in other spiritual systems. I remember in the beginning of my journey as a Luciferian, I had to buy a dagger. This one was a white dagger, and then I had to buy a black one also, and then I had to consecrate it on 2 different occasions. I had to wait for a certain moon phase, and I had to use my blood. I had to use salt water and recite a few things. And most of the rituals that I had to do, I had to buy wine, I had to buy meat. And at that time, I was basically not in a good financial space as I had nothing. I literally took 6 months to perform the first ritual of Luciferianism. So you understand, with other spiritual practices, you require money, you require to buy a, a very large number of miscellaneous, because it is required for you to practice such things. For me, it doesn't make any sense, because spirituality, everything is spiritual, and I don't see any power in spirituality that forces you to look outside of yourself to try and accumulate all the miscellaneous that you can accumulate. Because now, man, I just don't know what to say about it, but it's not something that gives me any sense to practice. So the guru did not have any what's that thing, did not have any knowledge of the Vedas or spiritual scriptures. He just went on to do what? To do sadhana, the sadhana of chanting each and every day and night. This is what I recommend for everyone else. Just go on and do something, recite mantras, choose a mantra that would, if you don't have a guru, choose a mantra that you would have a strong affinity to. The most simple would be Om, and Om is the highest of them all. And chanting Om and reciting Om for a certain number of time can literally unfold many spiritual powers to you just by the recitation of Om. I wish I had come across the knowledge of mantras when I was beginning my journey, because I'd have just recited the mantra Om, and I'd have gotten some good results from it just by chanting only that mantra for years basically. So this is a very good story to show you that you don't need to change your clothing, you don't need to change your diet, you don't need to, you can, if you want to enhance your physical life, which is something this guru didn't do basically, but you don't require all that. Spirituality is a practice, and it's universal, and it is all encompassing, and it's not culture, it's not tradition. It won't require you to dress a certain way, behave a certain way, use a certain vocabulary like you will see with the grand rising guys. Those guys definitely don't know anything that they are talking about. With that being said, we've reached the conclusion of this video, and I really enjoyed talking to you. I'm feeling exhausted right now. I hope you have enjoyed this story. You can go on and read it for yourself. It's a very, very interesting story with names like Zogpa Chenpo. Anyway, let us continue. This is Arsonist Fire from the Way of Dharma. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. Om Namah Shivaya.